Hi. Here is a list of things that I will never do as it comes to dating or marrying men, specifically. Number one, I am never going to take a man's last name unless his last name is objectively way cooler than mine. My last name is Walker, and I will be Adri Walker until I die. And I won't be changing my last name. I think it's such a privilege to be able to remain yourself, and I think that there is so much value in a name and in my name. And because marriage is an institution that was rooted in women being seen as property and this exchange of a man's name, I think it's quite revolutionary, and I think it's quite radical for a woman to remain her own and to have her own name. In addition to that, I will not be changing the names of my children. My children will have my last name. And of course, this is all up to discussion with my partner. I'm not saying that I don't value their input or the sanctity that they have over their own name, but my guiding belief is that if I choose to have children and they come from my labor and the cost of my physical well-being, they will have my name, because more than anything, I am the one who put them there. And of course, my partner will be important in that, but more than anything, they are mine. And so that's how I feel about the naming. The other thing I will not stand for is, if I do have a husband, that he will never make jokes about, like, the I hate my wife. I just saw a video on Instagram of a woman going up to different men in Costco and asking, what would you rate your experience shopping with your wife? And they're always like, 0 out of 10, 1 out of 10. I will not stand for that. If you do not like being around me or taking care of our family, even if that's just the two of us, you should not be with me. Go be happy somewhere else. I will be 100% fine by myself, or fine in a community of other people, of other women, of other family members. I will not stand for that in any sense of the word. I think that is ridiculous and disgusting. Number 3, if I do choose to get pregnant, I'm not going to get pregnant with someone who does not prioritize their own physical and mental well-being. What I mean by this is that there are numerous studies that have come out that show that the quality of the man's sperm does greatly impact a woman during pregnancy and her morning sickness and the health of the baby. And so if I am in partnership with someone and they do not choose to deeply prioritize their physical health, that also shows they do not care about my physical health, and I will not be having a child with them because I think that's a bad idea. I also think generally it's really common. I'm in my early 20s. I'm in college. I do not think enough people put emphasis on the idea of partnership and marriage for what it is. If someone is knowing you that intimately and that deeply, they should be, by themselves, a force. You should be coming into partnership to grow and to move forward as a pair. And I think so often, because women are socialized to be these nurturing people, we will often make excuses for men not showing up as readily emotionally available as we are. And I will not accept that, because, again, I do not need someone to fulfill my life. I have a beautiful life. I am so lucky to have a privileged and rich and beautiful life, that if someone is not able to show up and communicate with me as deeply as I am able to communicate with them, I don't want it. And I hear that there's an argument for, oh, well, you have to come together and nurture that part of them. And I'm saying, I feel I am so far in knowing myself and being in relationship to myself that it doesn't make sense to be with someone who can't understand me as deeply. I believe so firmly that you can only meet someone as deeply as you've met yourself. And what a disservice to me, and what a disservice to the amount of love I have to offer, to be with someone who cannot communicate as deeply as I can. And I really wish that more women and young girls entering relationships, particularly in their teens and young 20s, understood what forces they are and understood how intelligent and motivated and forward they are, and that these men who have not been socialized in the same way do not have these expectations of being compassionate, of being empathetic, of thinking of others, they lack. And I think that there should be more of a pressure for them to come to the same place that we are, so that we can all have more deep and intimate and compassionate relationships with each other. I think so often there is an excuse for that kind of behavior, and personally, it's unacceptable to me. So those are just a few things that I have been thinking about in terms of relationships. I'm really trying not to say as much. But, yeah, probably my first video. So, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. We are also lucky to be alive.